So my name is Andreas and I am an architect. I began my career at university at the age of around 18, I guess when most people start university. I then went into practice for the first time between, I guess, my third and fourth year, where I was introduced to a small practice who did lots of residential work and as a result got to grips with the kind of basics of construction. Found that I quite liked it, and yeah, so probably, I guess I've been doing my job for over 10 years, terrifying as that sounds. Architecture has the word art within it, and we really do not appreciate, before we get to university, quite the degree to which it is creative and conceptual. You fundamentally have an ability to change the spaces in which people live and work. That is amazing. I mean, it's almost godly, right? You can think of it that way, and there's a really great sense of, I guess, reward in that. Do not underestimate the creative side of architecture, because ultimately the maths is for the engineers, and what's happened in recent years is that architecture as a profession is completely subdivided. You have interior designers, interior architects, structural engineers, mechanical engineering and plumbing consultants, all of those. So some of those are more mathematical than others, but you fundamentally need to be good at two things: creativity and people skills. I think if you have those, if you feel as though you have an ability to engage well with people around you, then that should take more of a forefront than necessarily the subjects that you choose, or even whether architecture for you is a good career path.
What's the best bit about your job?
Handing over the keys. Everyone's seen programs like DIY SOS, and I'm not suggesting that all of our jobs are in any way like that, but on occasion our clients, in fact quite typically our clients, find trust in us to say, look, we're about to give you what is our most important asset in life beyond our family and friends. And the truth is that aside from buying the place, actually the renovation of your home or your property is probably the biggest financial move you will make in a lifetime. So the best part to me is the trust that people provide to us. I think the degree to which you can intrigue people is also a really great reward to the profession. A typical working day as an architect might be quite rushed, and you will spend some of your time sat at the computer, and you will be drawing digitally on the computer, or you may have printed those drawings out and you could be sketching. You will be testing, if you are designing, how to solve a puzzle. And you may find that you get really frustrated because you can't solve this puzzle there and then. Sometimes you need to take a breather away from it and come back. The rest of the day you might be in meetings. It might be that you're meeting clients, or you might be meeting a colleague who's going to help you along the journey of creating that building, like an engineer or a mechanical and plumbing consultant, for example. So you will find that you are never doing just one thing continuously. You might be sat at the computer, you might be in a meeting, you might be drawing, you might be on a journey to your next site visit where you're going to meet a builder and check that they've understood what you'd drawn some weeks or months before. So it will vary day to day, but that's the exciting part of it. The proudest moments for us were probably delivering our first new build house from the ground upwards, and knowing that you started with soil and now you have this structure that's going to keep people warm, safe, that doesn't endanger them in any way in terms of fire or regulations or how they may live there. I think the moment you realize that actually everything that we do began in soil, and yet you've been able to deliver from that very, very primitive day where all you have your services. So a run of water, a run of electricity, and maybe a run of gas. 3 pipes in a pile of soil. But somehow from there, you have to get to the point of a megastructure. That's the proudest of moments, I think, when you give the keys back to the client and know that you took them from soil to their finished, idealistic home, I guess, is probably the best bit. I strongly believe that you can lift someone's mood purely by the space that they're in. So we might not be able to change the world, but we might be able to have a small impact on people's daily routines and how they feel in the spaces in which they reside or work.